I'm Roxanne Hill. It is September 9th, 2019. We're outside of Barracuda. I'm here with the Sisters of Bleached. Your album, Don't You Think You've Had Enough, came out this past July. It came out July 12th. In contrast to your 2016 album, Welcome to the Worm, which was more about toxic environments and indulging in that kind of stuff. This album was more about getting clean and sobriety. So how has that difference been in your music?
I think just like writing from like a place of sobriety, it was just forced me to be very present. And that was really cool because I know when we were doing the record before, Don't You Think You've Had Enough, I feel like I was just like mentally gone the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And so this was like the first time where I was like, okay, I'm like here to work on this record, to like be present, to experience what it's like to record and feel everything that goes along with it.
Yeah.
Not like numb myself or like even like stupid things like it getting really late and getting really tired and like not being able to go reach for like a beer to get me through the next like 2 hours, or like reach for alcohol because I think it will make me more confident singing vocals. Like it all was just like I had to like do it on my own, and so that was like a cool experience.
Yeah. What made you want to make that lifestyle change?
Well, for me, it was just getting like dangerous. Like I was just like, I don't know if I'm gonna survive if I keep living a life like this.
Yeah. I feel like also doing this album sober really made me put aside everything I think I know and just start from like trying things out and like having mistakes or hitting wrong notes, and it maybe being like the coolest thing I've ever done.
Yeah, definitely. The experimental kind of part of it. Emotionally, how has it been like between the two albums? Like how has that changed? It's kind of similar to the same question.
Yeah, no, but I know what you mean.
But yeah.
Like, yeah, emotionally, it's just, that's a whole other world of emotions.
Right. There's a lot more because you're feeling.
Yeah.
Like I'm not, like Jen was saying earlier about numbing. Like we're not really numbing things, and we're just like allowing ourselves to have these emotions and figuring out maybe like why am I having this emotion, what's going on behind it, and then just like walking through it.
Yeah, exactly, like walking through it. And I think that's something I didn't even realize till I got sober, was that so much of my drinking and using was just to numb my feelings. And so now it's like, okay, I can't numb them, I have to feel them. I could stuff them, but that's super unhealthy. So the goal is to like walk through the fear, and I guess like I have to ask myself like, what is the fear here anyways? Like, and so it's just been it's like a whole new world lately.
Right, for sure. Is it tiring?
It's funny because I was thinking about this today, like when I used to go on tour, like this is a 5-week tour, and like going on tour is so intense, and I used to like have to drink through it because if you like decided to like go a day where you like partied really hard and then the next day you didn't, it just wasn't, I didn't know how to do that. So like now it's like I have no option but to do this whole thing sober, and like it just feels so much healthier. I'm just like so much more mentally aware, I'm happier.
Gotcha.
And,
one of my favorite songs off the album is ballet.
Oh, cool.
Because my older sister, she's a ballerina. This is actually her leotard. She'll probably yell at me for wearing it. She was in a motorcycle accident, and
God.
some car hit her and her boyfriend, and she was just like trying to discover how to get back into dancing again and recovering from that accident. And just the screaming part, just like, or the change in tone, just like, it speaks so much to me about it.
Wow,
how do you feel about like the difference in the change of tone? Like where is the slow start for you, and what leads you into the emotional ending of the song?
Of that song, yeah, that's like really cool. I mean, not that situation that happened to your sister is cool, but the idea of that, of you relating that story to that song is just really interesting. And like I'm gonna have a whole other like visual to that song.
I really appreciate you sharing that. It really brought a new life to that song.
I guess I've never really even thought that deeply as to what your question is, but it almost is like an example of like trying to keep your together and then just being like, I don't give a and just going for it at the end.
Like life's a dance, or what? Tell me more about the song.
Well, it was like we wrote it with this girl Maddie Diaz, and it was like we
my sister's name is Maddie. That's so funny.
Wow. So we like had never met Maddie before, and we just like got in the room, and we just like really were on the same page as far as like our life, where our lives were at, and like our relationships. And it just was like this thing where it was like back and forth, like the conversation wasn't hard to keep at all.
Right.
And we were like talking about like how we feel like, I don't know, somehow it just came up, or we were talking about our relationships, and I was like, it's like being in like, it's like watching a ballet, like a relationship falling apart where you want to keep it together, but it's just like impossible. And so when I said that, we were like, wait, ballet, that's such a good idea. And then we just kept like having these images of like sitting in like an auditorium and watching this like ballet happen that's just not working out.
Right.
And then when we did the demo, it was just like, it was so cool. Like it just sounded so raw and real and like emotional that we were like, we should try to imitate this sound for the actual song. But the original plan would have been to turn it into what the end of the song sounds like.
Okay.
Like the whole song be that. So really loud, like classic Bleached style. So that's why we were like, well, why don't we do the whole song and then end it with the way we would have normally done it. And and it's just like, even playing it live, it's like reminding me of what you said, where it's like, I'm even trying to hold it together live. Like it's an emotional song, and it's also just has to be sung very like, I have to be very like not strict, just
disciplined.
Just you can't like disciplined in the way we're singing it. I can't just like
to have like healthy voice.
Because it's like and it's like a mellow part, and then at the end it like doesn't really matter because I'm just more screaming. So
for sure,
it feels like that too with the song. It's just finally at the end we get to let go. I'm like almost when we're singing it, I'm like, I love this part, but I can't wait for the end.
One of my favorite little instrumental parts is the synth bit in Daydream.
Nice.
Is there like a special moment that sticks out to you playing that you just really love or you get into?
Like seriously, for Daydream, when it hits the final chorus and then that synth comes in so loud, like that's one of my favorite parts of the whole record.
It makes it a little more epic.
And Jessi did the synth, so when we were recording, it's just always really exciting when like the song already sounds so good, and then we're like, okay, today's synth day, and then synths start getting added, and it's like, well, I didn't even think this song could sound any better, and now it sounds even cooler.
That's cool. This year, you were also featured in Honey's album on Saturday night. For my audio production class last semester, I had to do a podcast, and I called it Sweet Talk, and it was about Honey and like the leading up to the album. How did y'all meet Jason and the guys?
We went on a like 7-week tour together, something insane. And we both were, there was another band on the tour, but like something like really crazy happened, and we kind of like with the other band, like to where this tour almost didn't happen. And then so none of us had met, and we drive straight from LA to DC to make the first show. We literally get there an hour before the show starts.
Oh my god!
And we walk in and we're all like, hey, like as if we're already best friends. And then they started playing, and I really didn't know what they were going to sound like because they didn't have that many recordings online. And then I remember just like standing there watching them and being like, this is going to be a good tour. They are so good. I'm so stoked. And then every night we just, I don't know, I felt like we were touring with our family. Like, we
Yeah.
just ended up
That's
becoming
really
like
cool.
really good friends.
I learned a lot from them too on that tour. Like,
Really?
just with like their guitars, their tones, and they were so friendly and were just so open to like showing me what they were using and their pedals. And
Yeah.
it's always cool when you walk away from a tour like learning something from it.
Were y'all at the release party of it?
Yeah.
Okay, who cut Jason's hair?
I did.
Oh my god. What was that just spur of the moment or what?
Yeah, because I went and I sang Saturday night with them.
Yeah.
And then Jason had a cut, like shaved his head for like, I think it was a cancer benefit. So it's
Okay.
like, whoever donates this much money gets to shave my head. So
Okay.
then someone started shaving it, but she like wasn't doing that great of a job.
Okay.
So then I was like, I'll just do it.
Yeah.
So then I took over and started doing it, which I didn't realize it's that hard to shave.
I had no idea. That's
at all.
funny.
But yeah, and then someone had to take over from me because then I wasn't even doing a good job. That was
That's
fun.
funny.
I almost wore my honey shirt too. That's
Really?
funny.
I know y'all get a lot of questions about being women in the industry, and I can't imagine how annoying that must be when like you're trying so hard to be something different and not categorized
Yeah.
by just being a woman
Yeah.
or you're something more than that. It's almost as if it's a disability saying that you're a woman in the industry.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the most annoying part of getting that kind of treatment?
It's funny because as of recently, I think because I did that zine, the Can You Deal zine,
Right.
where it was like a bunch of female musicians talking about what it's like to be a woman in the music industry.
Yeah.
It's almost like people don't ask that anymore because I feel like we like set our
Yeah.
boundary
It totally
Yeah.
is true.
where it's like,
That's good.
yeah, so what, like, one of my favorite quotes is Brody from the Distillers being like, oh God, now I don't even remember the quote, now I'm going to say it, but she was like, something about saying, like, do I play guitar with my vagina? Like,
Yeah.
why do we need to point it out?
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
it's just, yeah, it's an annoying question. But then there's also times where I'm like, okay, when I was a young girl, looking up to like Debbie Harry and Susie did mean a lot to me. So
Right.
I'm kind of like, what is the root of your question? What are you trying to get at? Are you just like, when someone asks that, like, are you actually like wondering like what inspired us? And I know like the music industry is a bit more challenging for females, but it's gotten so much better since we were like teenagers playing music.
Mm-hmm.
But or are you just asking because you're just
You
a
don't
dude
know what to
and you don't know what to
ask.
ask?
Yeah.
And it's like interesting or something.
Yeah. Well, kind of similar to that, I'm super close to my sisters, and I think that's just like such a cool bond.
I feel like since Jessi and I have been doing music for so long together, been through really hard times,
Right.
you know, together. Like as far as like being sisters in a band where we would fight, and now I just think like we were talking about this yesterday, but we just don't like fighting, so
Yeah.
we don't
Yeah.
even really let it
Yeah.
go there.
Yeah. I mean, like a lot of the times it's the traumas that like bring y'all closer together.
Yeah, totally.
What's something that's like helped y'all strengthen your relationship?
I guess sobriety.
Variety,
Yeah.
for sure. Communication.
Communication.
Like accepting each other, you know, and for who we are. And what is helpful is when we read our signs, our astrology signs.
Yeah.
Okay,
Knowing-
what are y'all?
Capricorn.
Okay.
Leo.
Oh,
What
okay.
are you?
I'm a Libra.
Oh.
Yeah. Almost my
Our
time.
mom.
And
Oh,
Ron
okay.
Libra. But they say that these signs actually work well together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when it's not working well, I'm like, there must be something wrong with me because we're supposed to work well together.
What? You shouldn't think
Or like,
that.
no. I mean, like, oh, maybe there's something I'm doing, you know, that I can change within myself.
Oh,
Yeah.
And it mostly is like it goes back to fear, and I'm like, what am I fearing right now? Or am I hungry? Am I tired? Do I need to sleep?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
for
whenever
sure.
I'm moody, I'm always like, wait, I need to just sleep. It's because I haven't slept.
Yeah. Okay, one last question. I talked to y'all earlier about honey. What would be a dream collab for y'all?
Okay, lately I've been so obsessed with parquet courts.
Oh, okay,
So
cool.
I would be so into doing like a collab like that.
Nice.
Yeah, I think they're so cool.
Fun. What about you?
I would, let's see. I've been really into John Mouse. I feel like that would be cool to do a collab with a song, or like take a song and like go in that direction and make it real like synth kind of 80s vibe.
Fun.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, well, thank you, ladies.
you.
This has been Bleached.